I don't know how we made it through that last week. I have no idea how we made it through that last week, but we did make it through the last week. Copious amounts of alcohol was consumed. You remember, drink responsibly. That's the most important thing, I would have to say to you. The show this week is brought to you by Scots Irish Whisky. And here we are. Oh,
Here we
boy.
Yes. That'd me, Brie. I've been busy.
Comes in a lovely box. Comes in a lovely box. This Scots Irish Whisky.
Yep.
Lovely
Scots Irish in the box. Beautiful bottle. That's a nice bottle now, I have to say. That's a very nice bottle. Very nice bottle.
Unusual.
Yes, very nice. Even Justin.
We've sampled an awful lot of unusual stuff this week, haven't we?
I have. Yes. We had. We've been busy, boy. We've been a busy boy this week.
There we go. Thomas Jones is saying hi, Marty and Justin. Sean McClanton saying evening. Mark Kerrs.
Evening.
Mark Kerrs. He's not on Grand Daycare duty tonight. He's watching the show. Thanks for watching. And Julie missing quite a lot of the viewers did manage to get along to some of the events.
There was a few popped up. Yeah, there was a few people. A few people come over and saying hello to me, and obviously they've seen me from this here, so it was nice. It was nice to meet some of you guys in the flesh. Wonder how Cat Charles was there last night. Yes, Kev was very, very drunk. He'd run into Brendan from Kildowen, and therefore, went a bit, went very well for them.
Well, actually, I was at another event to do with the radio. Paul was there too. It was the finale of Trad Fest, and it was absolutely fantastic. It won't play any of the music from it, because if we play any of the music from it, the evil Zuckerbergs will be after us for playing the music. It was excellent. Shannon was there on her squeeze box, and it was impressive stuff. Let me see. There's James. Was James down?
I never got to see James. I don't think James was there, right, for the Whisky Week. You know what? As everybody knows, I was doing a couple of tours every day. I had 3 yesterday because I had one of my own. I had to do in the morning. So yeah, I'm busy. But the legs just walked off me. I got my steps in this week without no problem at all.
How many steps a day? How many steps?
It was coming in and around the 20,000 every day, roughly.
Yeah, that's a lot of steps.
It was a lot of steps. Well worth it. But yeah, I hope everybody that came on the tour enjoyed it. I think they did. I think everybody had a good time. You'll get plenty of whiskey anyway. Made sure of that.
Oh, listen. James Doherty was in New Orleans for Tales of the Cocktails, just back, and he's well jet lagged. Hope your bag's made it back with you.
Jet set, James. Yes.
Robert Gustafson said, "You look younger, Marty. It must be the steps."
Thank you very much, Robert. Yes. But I have ate copious amounts of burgers all week, and even got Justin down to get a burger. He was dead happy, weren't you, Justin?
I was overjoyed. I got 2 burgers because Paul gave me a burger last night as well, and I had a chicken burger with bacon and cheese for a change, and I had the chicken wings too, which were cluck fantastic. Yes, they were. The barbecue ones are the best, actually. But anyway, yes, it was a great tour. Yes,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's slightly different every time because you leave out stuff because you know more stuff than you don't give all your performance every night. Isn't that what you do? You always leave a bit out, leave them wanting more.
Well, the thing about it is, I try and do basically the same sort of stuff all the time. But if I know people are interested in something else, or if I know that if it's more whiskey aficionados than non-whiskey aficionados, I tend to do a bit more whiskey stuff. And if I think it's just people, because there's a lot of people go to these. I found this out. There's a lot of people going to these that are sort of just finding their feet with whiskey, and
yep.
And you don't want it to. If you start going too much into the whiskey stuff, you kind of they think it's a lot more complicated than it is, and it's really piss simple. I mean, I hope everybody that was on one of the tours kind of got that. Don't be worrying about, oh, I don't have a very
I,
sophisticated palate. You don't need one.
I know
Everybody's got
what
to
you're
see
saying.
him.
I know what you're saying. Overwhelming people with the technology behind it and all that.
Yeah, I mean,
like you do with me every week.
no, but I mean, the thing is, all of this, it just should always be fun. And if it starts being a bit too laborious and time, then you're kind of doing it wrong. Um, Sitting down and having a couple of whiskies is not the hardest thing in the world to be doing. And if you like something, you like it, and just trying to get people maybe a little bit better an understanding of what it is they're actually doing when they're tasting whiskies, because there's always this big push for flavour, and I try and say no, it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more rounded than that.
I tell you what, we added a lot more subscribers this week because you were telling people one-on-one. People were adding this.
I was threatening people.
There and then on the spot. John Redmond has asked. Linda Cox mentioned the words donuts. I got half a bite of half a donut, and then Linda Cox asked about the donuts, and then John Redmond says they looked interesting. They were extremely interested in the donuts. Patrick Mulkey saying good evening as well. Let's see what Frank Hearn's saying. Everybody's getting in touch. You did learn a lot about Belfast. That's true. Let me see what Frank Hearn's saying. Even all, what a brilliant week, whiskey week in Belfast. Met a few friends. I made a few new friends, drank a few new whiskies. Poured tonight is a wee short cross with balsamic onion, extra mature cheddar. Whiskey Exco was fabulously supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm not going to say the word fucking brilliant. There you go.
I can't be really swearing I'm not.
Because they can't understand my Northern Ireland accent, so they won't sugar burgers.
You keep telling me I'm not allowed to swear.
I do like the sound of that. The short cross was good stuff. The short cross with the rye in it was superb stuff. It was, yes.
Frank, I hope you got to short cross on was it something? When was it? Monday. Monday you were going down to short cross. So yeah, I hope you had a good night that night or a good day that day. I only saw David and Fiona at the dinner. I never got to see them all week because I was running about all over. The whole thing was a bit frantic. There was stuff all over the place. But I put a special shout out, by the way, to my wee buddy Paddy, who was on with me all week. Great guy, wonderfully helpful. Great. Cheers, Paddy. Good man you were. Top boy.
No, people don't actually know what happened to Paddy because we were talking about this during the week. But you've got to tell people about Paddy because when I was at Ulster Hall last night, I turned left to go to the car to leave some glasses in the car, and Paul came out behind us and says, where you going? You can't go to Tribal Burger in Botanic. It's the one in Callender Street. And I says, I know, my name isn't Paddy. Tell him what happened.
So I said last week, Paddy hadn't had anything to eat, and I says, look, go and get yourself a burger in Tribal Burger and I'll meet you there. The Paddy had all the whiskey with him because it was he was carrying it all with him. Instead of going to the one, we were at City Hall, and there's a Tribal Burger at Callender Street, which is about 30 seconds walk. Buddy, he hoofed it all the way up to Botanic, which is about a mile and a half up the road. It's about a mile up the road. So he ran up there. So I went to go walk around into Tribal Burger, he wasn't there. And I'm looking like, it was Paddy. Where are you, boy? He says, I'm sitting here. I was sitting in Botanic. So he had to run. He ran from Botanic carrying 6 bottles of whiskey, 3 of them in a box, jumping about all the way from Botanic, all the way back down into City Hall. And he came in, it was just this wee dishevelled mess. It was dead funny. He's just, yeah, good guy he is, good guy.
Well, what we'll do, should we hit it?
We'll do some news.
It's 10 past 10. It's Saturday night. Where else would you be but live with Irish Whiskey Review? Remember to comment, to like, to share, to hit subscribe on Facebook, particularly on YouTube. Make sure if you're watching, you hit a comment, because it helps us, help you, helps the algorithm. We're on LinkedIn, where we're going ballistically crazy. We're on Twitch. We're on Telegram too as well. So if you join us for the first week, the first time, we would like to say bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Bonsoir. Yeah. Yeah. First up with the news. Paddy was right when he got at Calendar Street. He was absolutely bad. It's dead funny. Shane, you off. Bye. 9-8, buddy. 9-8. Catch you again tomorrow.
Reek Sunday, is that where they do races up the mountains? I think that is very good, very nice.
Yeah,
that sounds like a nice weekend. And you're being asked, did you enjoy the O'Connells?
O'Connells. Oh yes, the McConnells. Well, not the O'Connells, yeah. McConnells.
Yeah.
It was a special treat. It's a new one that they're going to be bringing out from McConnells. A podcast finished 2002, and that. But like a lot of people really liked McConnell's whiskey this week. They were really impressed, and I was trying to explain to everybody about the bottle. The bottle, just fabulous, beautiful thing, really, really nice.
Nice.
So yeah, that was one of the whiskies we were letting people try that all week, and very well received. Very well received it was. Now, anyway, go to the news. We'll get back to Belfast Whiskey Week in a wee minute. So, first up, Bushmills have announced the new Causeway collection is coming out. So, hitting people, Bushmills beating the shit out of people's pockets for 3 years now. This is the kind of stuff that we've been crying out for Bushmills for a long time, and now they're coming thick and fast. So there's 3, 6, 9, 10 bottles. 10 bottles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 bottles.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're going to do the same thing as they've done before and release them to different countries. So there'll be probably 2, 3 in Ireland, one over in Great Britain, Australia, Poland, Germany, and then travel retail. So I'm not sure where these are going to be released. However, what are they? Well, the oldest ever Bushmills to be released is going to be coming out, 33-year-old port cask, which just the very thought of it sounds amazing. 25 and 30-year-old Madeira cask, 11-year-old cognac cask, 12-year-old tequila cask one. Then they have the 2002 vermouth finish. Interesting. 2012 Bordeaux wine, Pomerol wine from Bordeaux. A 1997 rum cask. So there's lots of stuff. So in celebration of that, I'm going to have a Sauternes cask from the previous Causeway collection, because it's chuffing lovely. The Madeira cask finish, a 30-year-old Madeira cask finish Bushmills. I mean, if it's anything like the last Madeira cask one, it's just they're just fantastic. So these are coming out very shortly. I didn't announce what time frame is, but they'll be coming out very shortly. The prices, the 33-year-old isn't that expensive for the oldest Bushmills ever released. It's coming out at €1,200.
They must have a lot of it then, Marty, if it's cheaper.
I wouldn't have thought so. I would imagine it's one cask of it. I would imagine it's €1,200 with £1,000 would probably be. I would imagine that's going to be for the Irish market. I would have thought. I don't know. Who knows? But we'd like. I mean, let's be honest. We all love Bushmills spirits. Bushmills whiskey's awesome.
Well, I've noticed something about the bottles here. When I put it on the big screen, right? There's 3 purple top bottles. There's 2 black top bottles, and there is 5 red top bottles. What's the significance?
I don't know, Justin. I don't know.
What colour's the top on that one there?
I peeled it off. I think it was black.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right,
Eagle eye, Justin. Huh? Nothing gets by you and your detective abilities. You should be Detective Sergeant McCartney.
I would like to be Columbo. Let me see. Thomas Jones. Let's see what people are saying this week they've got. I picked up a bottle of Jura 14-year-old yesterday for £30 at Sainsbury's. Other supermarkets are available. I prefer Waitrose, but we don't have it here. That's not bad. It's
not as good as what happened in Morrison's a couple of weeks ago. Did you see this? I don't think we covered this. Morrison's were going to sell a bottle of Glenlivet Caribbean rum for it's normally £36 or something like that, and they were going to do it on an offer for £25. But somebody listed it at £2.50, and people went in to buy it, and then Morrison's cancelled the orders. And you know what they said? You know how they got out of it? Because you know the way if they advertise it at that price, they have to sell it at that price by law. Do you know how they got out of it?
Run out of them.
Nope. Minimum alcohol unit pricing in Scotland said, and Wales said, "Oh, we can't sell it for that money. That would be breaking the law." So they didn't do
it. There you go. Frank Hearn said his daughter bought him the Blackbush 8020 PX Sherry Cask Reserve, which is very good. Yes.
Yep, I have a bottle up there. Yeah. Do you know the way I'm not buying any more whiskey, Justin?
Yes, I know. I know.
Justin knew it was bullshit when I was saying it.
I know. That's probably because in the script meeting we wrote that.
Yes.
Script. Yeah. That was
what do we do now? Barry Cryer's dead. That doesn't write our scripts for us.
Don't you mean Bernard Cribbins? Maybe he's dead.
Bernard Cribbins.
Terrible. Oh, jeez, you can't speak ill of the dead. I hope both of them are dead, so I can't say. But there you go. James and Moira Doherty, shows you can find it in the dark. I've seen that movie too with the glow in the dark ones, James, as well. I don't think they glow in the dark, do they?
I don't think so. You never know. Let's maybe get Braille at the top of it so you can do it in the dark. It's 33 euro Madeira cask. Yes, open that one.
Hold on. I know you're as good as Hal Mulholland. You can probably sniff it and tell what it is.
I don't think so, Justin. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case.
Here, listen. Even I can tell the difference now between them. I tell you what, I can tell the difference between Samuel Gelston's and something else. But there you go. You always know what you like, the smell of.
You do. Now, moving on. We have a new cask program for Dingle, one of our plucky little distilleries down in the southwest, have a new program called Dingle Descendants, 2022 cask edition. It's a cask program, and you get to buy a cask. You have, you get a bourbon, PX sherry or Palo Cortado, first fill cask, filled with new make Dingle spirit, matured in your personalised cask for a minimum of 8 years. You have an option to partially bought part of your cask, annual something of your cask, annual single malt release shipped directly to your door, access to distillery tour as a guest, private access to your warehouse and sampling your cask, 15% discount off your in the store. The cask's yours to keep when you're finished with it, which is a nice touch too. Access to your master distiller for advice on your cask. Now it's €10,000 for a bourbon cask, 11,000 for a pot still bourbon cask, 12,000 for a 250 litre sherry cask, and €13,000 for a pot still sherry cask. So those are your options. Again, there is buying casks. There's people telling you they're going to make a lot of money in this. You probably won't make money on buying casks. It's not really about that. You never know, but it may be you can make money at it. No guarantees. But Dingle Dingle have garnered a huge reputation over the last 10 years, and well deserved it is too. There's a little video that goes along with this, so Graham tells you all about it, tells you what's happening.
Here we go. We'll have a look.
At Dingle Distillery, we distill two types of whisky, single malt and pot still. At the heart of both of the whiskies is barley. In single malt, we use 100% malted barley, and in the pot still, we combine malted barley with unmalted barley. Both whiskies are made with water from our well, and we combine them both in the mash. The first stage of the whisky making process is mashing. At Dingle Distillery, we have a traditional wooden mash tun. And in the mash tun, we combine the malted barley, and if we're making pot still, we have unmalted barley. We combine the cereals with hot water. And in the mash tun, we convert the starch into sugar, which we will then ferment later in the washback into alcohol. Following on from the mash, we ferment the sweet wort in the washback. We add yeast to the wort, and the yeast feeds on the sugar and creates alcohol. We ferment for 72 hours, and that long, slow fermentation encourages the formation of esters, and these esters give our whisky a lovely sweet taste. At the end of fermentation, we have created a strong beer, which we call wash. The strength of the beer, or the wash, is around about 9% alcohol. We then take the wash and distill it 3 times in our 3 stills. After each distillation, we concentrate the flavours and the alcohol, until finally the spirit flows in the spirit safe at 78% alcohol. In the warehouse, we take the new spirit and we fill it into casks. The spirit coming off the still is 78% alcohol. We reduce that slightly to 65% to help with the maturation. Once we fill the casks, we leave them for a period of time. It must be a minimum of 3 years, but for Dingle, we're looking older than that. We fill a range of cask types. We fill bourbon barrels, which are behind me, but we also fill sherry casks, which can be Oloroso or Pedro Jimenez sweet sherry. In addition, we fill port casks, and we also experiment a little with the likes of rum, champagne, and other wine casks.
There you go. You get a lot. You get a lot in that deal. That's a fabulous deal.
Well, it is. It's a nice cast program, and so you've optional payment plans and stuff on it as well. You go on to the website, you can look and see for yourself. But yeah, Dingle have had gained a very big reputation and well deserved, because their product is very, very nice, very good whiskey now. So go on. You've posted it on. Am I pointing at you now? Am I pointing at you now?
You're pointing at me now. Yeah,
there we go.
Point at me now. Everything's mirror image in this. You see, if I point that way, I'm pointing at you, but I have mirror image on. You see?
No, I don't know. I know. Yeah, James is saying it's strong Kerry accent there. Just like your Donegal one. Yeah, it's amazing all these Irish whiskey. All these people who love Irish whiskey.
Here. At least they're not as bad as somebody we're going to mention later on tonight, who could be from anywhere, because he says he's from, he's like the international storybook. In England, I am Jan, and in Sweden, I am Johan, in Ireland, I am Sean. You know what I mean? Anyway, Anyway,
Actually, I don't know what he's on about, folks. I'm asking a
you
baldy.
do. You do. It's the guy with the French name who's from England, who was from Scotland, who's now from Ireland, who's now from
right, the man from
who's
God
now
knows
from
where.
the Caribbean
Right, okay, yes. We're
or
going to
the
mention him now,
Caribbean.
actually.
The
We're going to
Caribbean.
mention him now.
Hmm.
The TTB in the States is the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau. Lovely, fun bunch of guys these seem to be. Well, there's been a proposal to American single malt whiskey standard of identity. And one of the interesting things is that they're spelling whiskey without an E in this, which is not usual for America. But anyway, so American single malt whiskey. Now,
Is this the ATF? Is it, or is this different than the ATF?
No, this is the Tax and Trade Bureau, so it's not the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms people. No, I don't know. For the land of the free, America has so many boards and regulations and
This
so on.
sounds like the People's Front of Judea or the People's Judean Front.
Judean People's Front of Judea. Anyway, under our proposal to be labelled American single malt whiskey, the product must be distilled entirely at one US distillery and must be mashed, distilled, and aged in the United States. The product also must be sourced from a fermented mash of 100% malted barley at a distillation proof of 160 degrees or less, 160 proof, and stored in oak barrels not exceeding 700 litres. In addition, allowable colouring, flavouring, and blending materials would be permitted. Now, it's this addition of blending materials and flavourings that's a bit of a strange one. Because, yeah, you wouldn't be allowed to do
Is
this.
that like E150A and stuff like
no,
that,
well,
or worse than that?
It'll be worse than that because it's saying you're putting in flavourings.
Is that so they can do like peach flavored whiskey and pineapple flavored whiskey?
Yeah, well, I mean, flavoured whiskies is flavoured whiskies. But a single malt is supposed to be a single malt. And whenever you're starting to put in flavourings and I mean colouring, I mean everybody knows about colouring. But it's, by the way, it's over exaggerated how much colouring is used. There's not an awful lot used in any of it. But anyway, how can you have a single malt that's flavoured? Now, Mark Rainier on his Twitter page sort of highlighted his thoughts on this, which I thought was really quite interesting. You bring it up full screen. Not sure allowing the addition up to 2.5% of the volume with sherry or another sweetening liquid, let alone flavourings, is such a good idea for the new category. Yeah.
Are they trying to, instead of it just being in a sherry cask, are they trying to throw sherry in it to enhance the flavouring of maturing in a sherry cask? Is that what they're trying to do, or they're trying to cheat, or what are they trying to do, Marty?
It's not going to be cheating if that's what they set up as their standard. That can't be cheating. But
here's a good point. Is that because flavoured malts are already available, so they have to accommodate what's in existence?
I don't know, James. I would imagine that's probably what they're trying to capture. But if you're going to, I mean, we heard the other day again the statement Irish whiskey is going to be outselling Scotch in 10 years. Remember, we heard this the other week. It's not, kids. It's not. But anyway, I mean, Scotland have sort of lead the way in single malt. Let's be honest. That's who single malt is most associated with. And if you're going to protect it in the States, if you're going to create this category in the States, and put single malt on the bottle, and then say, well, it's single malt, it's made 100% malted barley, but we've shoved a bit of brandy in it because we've shoved a bit of PX sherry in it. I just don't understand why you would do that. And I know
I do, because instead of trying to be an infinity bottle, they're trying to be an Event Horizon infinity bottle and just put it all together.
This is Justin's uncle's a physicist, guys, so this is where Justin gets this from. No. But no, I mean, I just don't know why they would do. I mean, surely if you're going to have a single malt category, keep it a single malt. Just basically copy Scotland. That's what would be I would take. And if you're going to try and include flavoured malts, why not just make a category flavoured malt whiskey? You know, I don't really understand why they would do that. It seems to me to be a kind of silly move on their part. People, with all the moves towards, your sort of single casks, cask strength whiskey, single cask, people wanting the sort of natural product, the straight from the barrel into the bottle, to bring this into it just seems very weird. Seems very weird to me.
Certainly very strange. Let us know what you think on that, folks. If you think that's on a hiding to nothing or a good idea. I think you want flexibility in the rules, and people are always going to know if something's really a pot still or really a single malt or really a blend. I think people are going to know that, Marty.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, are they going to have to declare on the bottle what they've put in it?
In America, they have to declare what color of underwear they have on.
That's why Iron Brew spelt the way it is, IRNBRU, because the fun people, the fun people at the Food and Drug Administration in America, the way that you're not allowed to call a Kinder Egg, because not technically didn't come from a chicken's bum, so it's not. Anyway,
funny enough, we were looking at the rooster today. I can't tell you the rooster's name because it's a former leader of Germany who's we're not allowed to talk about the internet, and otherwise people might think it's code for neo-Nazism. But my dad was saying he actually seen a chicken eat a baby rat the other day, and then you're eating the egg that comes out of the chicken, which has eaten the baby rat.
That's because you live in Corrick. These things don't happen anywhere else. Because you live in Corrick. Wouldn't happen in Glenurm. Wouldn't happen down here.
Well, I'm assure you it does happen.
Psychopathic rooster chickens.
Well, the rooster doesn't lay eggs; it's the hens lay eggs, Marty. I mean, you can't tell you're a townie.
I used to keep chickens, son. I know what's going on.
I know you did. You did.
Anyway, no.
Anyway,
we're saying that seems a very strange one to me.
It is strange that. Well, let's see. Let me see. I'll get rid of these now. What's next tonight?
The International Spirits Challenge Awards 2022 winners have been announced, and the big winner in Irish whiskey, not big surprise really, Irish Distillers, who won the trophy for best blended premium whiskey, Jameson Black Barrel, which is very good to be fair. And then it goes through, they got a double gold for their Method and Madness single grain. And then there's a whole list of guys who've won and did well. I mean, Black Bush is there with a gold medal and so on and so forth. All in all, Irish Distillers.
There's 1,999 entries, Marty. Basically, everybody got a star. This is like school children going to school. Everybody gets a star now.
Well, see, this is part of my problem with a lot of these awards things, because if you enter, you normally win. Except whenever you or I enter, we never win bugger all. Anyway,
because we don't pay the money, Marty.
Well, this might be another thing, but no, they've went on through to the silver awards now. I do have a bit of an issue with some of these because let me see. Hang on, bear with me. Everything gets a silver award except it's a gold or a silver, except Jameson Cold Brew, which only gets a bronze, right? But they have said that Writer's Tears single pot still whiskey is worthy of a silver, as is Proper 12. Now, I'm very sorry. But if their taste buds are telling them that Proper 12 whiskey is equal to, let me see now, Bushmills 12-year-old, or
I tell you what, their website's pretty good with 1,999 entries. You can interrogate it very quickly. That's fabulous.
Oh no, it's very quick to go through. I mean, McConnell's 5-year-old is on the same par as as Proper 12. Their taste buds there must be something badly wrong with their noses and taste. Yeah, it's very strange, very strange. So yeah,
maybe they're afeard of what might happen.
I don't know. A lot of these awards are just, you take with a pinch of salt. But no, I mean, Irish distillers are always going to do well at these because they produce so much. Let's be honest. But you have to enter these, so that's why a lot of guys don't win them. But one of the things that was interesting to me, because I haven't been there, I'll just take that off. We go down to, where the hell is it? Where is it? Spirits Tourism Awards. The Spirits Tourism Award, they're pretty much Australia, US, but the one in Ireland, I guess I mentioned, is the Skellig 618 distillery. Away down in County Kerry. So it gets a mention. It won an award. So was it? We'll have to get a wee bums down there some one of these days.
I think we will. We've had a couple of invites, so I think we'll need to get down that far. What do we say? James Tuckerty says can't afford to enter them all.
James, the amount you got in your crowdfunding, you can afford to enter them all. Don't you worry. If there's an award for most successful crowdfunder in Ireland, it has to go to you.
Yeah. I listen. I would like to be the chauffeur in that new £250,000 roller you got. But no, he didn't get that. I'm making that up. Yeah, it's the BS Awards. LOL.
I mean, the awards are awards, and people like winning them. It's nice. It's nice when people get awards, but
listen, on that issue, because is that the news over, or have we got more to go?
With one more wee story.
With one more to go. We'll ask this now while we're on this, Marty, because we've only got 20 minutes left. There's Graham's asking. Oh no, I've hit the wrong button. Wouldn't you get that? Wouldn't get that until now, Marty. He's saying, Jordy Burke was saying, Marty, what's the best distillery tour you've been on?
The best distillery tour I've been on is one with James Dougherty taking us around these Ardra distillery.
You're only saying that because he's listening and he's watching.
Yeah, well, yes. No, I mean that's beautiful.
You like that wee small one in Scotland.
Which one? The Blair Athol distillery.
Yes, the wee tiny one where the people really know what they're talking about. You like that?
What? See, Jordy, it's kind of a bit different for me going on distillery tours than most people. And I don't mean that to sound arrogant, but I do know a little bit about whiskey. And I also work as a tourist guide. So when I'm doing these things, I look at them in a different way than the ordinary punter. So whenever I'm doing tours, when I do the cheesy cliche distillery tour bingo, where it's we're Irish, so we spell our whiskey with an E because it stands for excellent. Read the tick. And the Irish people didn't adopt to call them distillation because we didn't like it. We want to keep our whiskey flavour, so tick. And all this nonsense. So I look at it kind of differently. One of the best whiskey distillery experiences I had was just before COVID. I went to the old Tullamore Dew one, which is now closed. And they had a little secret room thing you went up into where it was like pulled open a wee door and you go in and you got to fill your own jug of whiskey with a Californian red wine cask finished Tullamore Dew. And it was a bit gimmicky, but anybody that knows me knows I like a gimmick. I see absolutely nothing wrong with gimmicks as long as they work. And I really sort of liked that. I thought it was just something a bit different. Invariably, if it's the guides that make the tours. The actual equipment and stuff, all the technical stuff. Most people on distillery tours aren't that interested. I mean, I know this sounds, but I quickly found out that half the people on distillery tours or whiskey tours don't actually want to be there. It's not that they dislike being there, actively dislike being there. They might not drink whiskey, they might be driving, they've bought it as a gift, they've been dragged along by their whiskey drinking significant other or whatever. But if you have a fun guide, if you have someone who's knows their stuff, but is quite happy to adapt it to suit the audience, then that's the kind of stuff I like. And that's why I like the Blair Raffle Distillery in Scotland, because the guys have this tours down, the timings are nailed on, they know exactly what they're doing, and they've lots of experience. So whenever the people come in, you can pretty much ask them anything and they'll have an answer straight away for you. And they're nice people, they're funny, and so on. So I really like that. But I couldn't tell you the best one I've ever been on, because they're all kind of different, but I can certainly tell you the worst. And that's the Irish Whiskey Museum in Dublin. It's the worst whiskey thing I ever did. And I found out a little thing about them, but I'll not say that in case I get sued for libel. But yeah.
All right. What's next tonight?
Right, next up, it's a bit of a disheartening story. Maybe it came out this week that rum sales are outstripping whiskey these days. And I've just broke.
James says he's off to edit the script now. No e-jokes or columns still. And Declan Boy says, I need to pay you more money. James Doherty. The end jokes are the best. There you go.
Now,
that's the best answer. There you go. Sorry.
Rum sales.
Here's rum.
Rum sales have broke through the £1 billion in the UK this week.
Wow.
For the year, £1 billion a year. So they're actually outselling whiskey. And when they look at the demographics, around half of the people who are buying rum are between 18 and 34. So yeah, again, it's this sort of sweet palate stuff that's bringing people on board. So
but wasn't rum an old man's drink at one point, or they always tried to say it was, you know?
Yeah, it was always sort of people, the old Navy guys drunk rum, you know. The old guy in the duffel coat, Uncle Albert from Only Fools and Horses, he drunk rum.
I loved McKibben's, but you can't get it anymore. Kraken's not bad, but it tastes artificial to me.
Yeah, I don't mind a rum. I just don't like it when it's overly sickly sweet. But I assume that's probably what a lot of the kids are drinking. I say kids, 18 to 34, they're not really kids, but you know what I mean. But no, maybe whiskey still has the sort of middle-aged guy customer base, is it? I don't know. I know women are taking up a fair percentage of the growth, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting that rum is outselling whiskey now.
Is indeed. Yes, well, hold on. Better give the sponsors a mention. Of course, the show tonight brought to you by Scots Irish Whiskey down there in Garrison. Lovely gift boxes and bottles available. Do check them out. And it does have a touch of peat, whether Marty agrees with me or not. Hey, I can taste a wee bit of peat in it. Yes, I can. There you go. Lovely stuff. Nice.
Your sensitive palate. No,
my sensitive palate. Yes. I can tell a chicken burger from a burger. No problem.
I don't know how you can, because it really ever gets time in. It really has the sides. You're like that boy out of pot wine. Oh, I know the boy that ate all the burgers. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for burger today. That would be like Justin.
There you go. So, what have I got to say? Yes, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Telegram, Instagram. Check us out. We try to post the whiskey news regularly on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook on a daily basis. We're going to go back and talk a little bit about in the last 15-minute show what a wonderful whiskey week we had.
Belfast Whisky Week. Again, have to say thanks to all the guys who came down that I met. And a big thanks to Paul. I mean, Paul was running about all over the place, and things was double booked and things. Anytime you're running anything like that, I mean, you and I both know whenever we're out guiding, you're just doing one event, and how badly wrong some of these things can go very quickly.
He's doing 110 events.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, there's loads of stuff going on all over the place. And there's a couple of things that get cancelled because guys came down with COVID and so on. There's just the usual stuff happens at the usual events, but all over, I think everybody loved it.
Listen, we've had a couple of comments in about Linda Cox says she tried a new one of liquor store Kennahan single malt finished in American oak. Not great. Your thoughts, Marty? I'm not a great fan of anything finished in that American oak.
Bear with me. What do you mean?
Gets very woody, doesn't it?
It's bourbon cask finish. Hang on a wee second, just to see if this is the one you mean.
We do like to answer your questions, so always hit us up when we're on live. Yeah.
Is this the one? No, this is the hybrid cask. This is Portuguese, Hungarian, French thing. Yeah, this is the one I have.
Similar bottle.
Yeah, so it's kind of. To be honest with you, I wasn't overly struck on this. I don't think it was. The problem with a lot of these, when you do these hybrid cask, multiple cask things, and all this kind of stuff, unless it's done really, really well, it can go pear-shaped very quick. So I would be interested to try. I'll have to try the American oak.
Linda Cox says yes, it's a very similar bottle. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean this one is French oak, Portuguese oak, Hungarian oak, American oak, and chestnut. That's the only cannons I have, I think. Far too much stuff here on it, but yeah, I wasn't massively impressed with this, but yeah, I wasn't impressed with that, so maybe not impressed. If you're not impressed with it, Linda, I'll not be impressed. There you go. I'll take your word for it.
And then you can look there. And see another question come in there. Somebody tried Frank Hearn tried the Scar Distillery whiskey and gin at Whiskey Expo. New one to me, but looking forward to visiting next year.
Yeah, I briefly saw those guys yesterday. They were doing a tasting in White's Tavern at just before I'd done the last of the whiskey tours. So yeah, they were getting set up. I think it was fairly well received to do Clan Cola. See, you see. This one has risen from the grave, Clan Cola. So it has. So yeah, this guy from McAllister's. They tried to open. I think they were going to call their distillery the McAllister's. They're not related to these, and then somebody else had it registered, as far as I know. But yeah, good luck to them. Yeah.
Lovely stuff, and I think that's all the comments so far. We've got to look at some of these pictures here.
Yeah, some of the stuff I was done the last tour last night, and then I went to this, and this was the Dunville's Green Label tastings, and to be honest, I mean the stuff they do is just awesome. I mean, I can't speak highly enough of these guys. I think Jarlath does a wonderful job. Graham does has wonderful stuff, and the whiskies are superb. There's really, you can tell Glendronach plays a big part in these guys' life. That big sherry bomb finishing, but the way they do it, it's balanced really well, where it doesn't go too far down the sweet line. It's got big heavy alcohol, that you can play with and take water to and bring it down, and it opens up fabulously. And it was a superb night. And I was sitting with none other than Nolan again. I ended up plastered with him last week, and I ended up plastered with him last night again. Where among topics of conversation, we were talking about what happens if there was a robotic agreement working in the distillery and stuff. So yeah, we were having pretty serious conversations, and I ended up rubbered, as you can probably tell by my face, and I was actually fairly compass mentis at that point. It got much worse after that. But me and I had some crack, as always. But yeah, they done the green labels last night. It was superb. I did the sensorium, the sense circle, which is really pretty cool during the week, where you. It's very hard. It's amazing the power of suggestion, and what you find out is that you can very easily get tricked into thinking something. Thinking something is one thing, and then finding out it's something else, and you're going, maybe I don't know very much about this, and then you find out, well, that's why this happened, and it all changed over. It's the Sun Circle. If you get a chance to go there, Peter, I see your comment. You seem sober enough to me. Yes, I may have been stalling for time. I was. Now, please drink responsibly, kids. I didn't last night. I was well oiled. I was well oiled by the time I got home. You can still hear my voice. My voice is a little bit gone from doing what.
Talking so much. We've asked a question. William asked us, Justin, I think my subscriptions are up. How do I renew? Listen, we're not after millions out of you. If you want to support us, it's dead easy. It's dead easy how to do it. Buy me a coffee /Irish whiskey. That's the easiest way. Go on there, hit us up there. And, well, you never know what arrives in the post. Whenever we get offered something to share with you, we do our best to get it out there and share. And, well, we're still thinking about a trip somewhere else as well, aren't we?
It'll have to be later on in the year. Just at the minute, I mean, Belfast Whisky Week was actually a bit of a break for me. I was off today. I'm off tomorrow, and then I'm off on my travels again on Monday, like 5 o'clock on Monday morning. I'm away guiding again for a few weeks.
And you're like myself. You had to treat yourself to a new camera. That's why these photographs are so brilliant, even though they're taken in the dark with red light. They look fantastic.
Well, I bought a new phone. I got a new phone, and everything you go to bloody do is, do you give us permission to do? You're supposed to update the bloody settings. You know, this is I've bought the new Google Pixel 6a Pro or 6 Pro or whatever it is, and yeah, the camera is pretty sharp now. I have to say, the camera is pretty sharp. So yeah, that's what we were at. So yesterday we've done the Dunvilles, done a tasting where pretty much all week because I'm working, I wasn't having any drink on the tastings, obviously, because you're not drinking every day. So needless to say, I decided to have a fair few last night, and all was good. But no, the events, I know there was guys up doing various tastings away on the distillery days to Cologne and Radamon and so on. But I hope next year it gets bigger again, and maybe get a few other bits and pieces on board, and maybe share a couple of things about round and whatnot, and get hopefully I'll be doing tours again next year, and maybe get a bit more touristy element to it and bring people in.
Now, one thing I noticed whenever we were was tagging along on your wonderful tour was some lovely artwork, which is all over Belfast, which sort of celebrates whiskey in various places. Tell us a little bit about this, if it'll load up. It probably won't load up for me because we've been having internet issues all night tonight, but I've managed to keep it going as usual. I don't know what it is tonight, but it seemed to be acting up there for some reason. Can I get the file up on screen? Can I? Probably not. Let me see. Here we go.
Oh.
Only images or videos are supported. Yes, I'm trying to upload an image or video. So, yeah, I know. It's wonderful. So it's the lovely map of Ireland that was outside White's Tavern.
Oh, that's done by a girl called Danny Simpson. She's a wonderful girl, Australian. And she finds herself in Belfast, and you see her art's all over the place in Belfast. There's a lot of it. This sort of cartoony style that she does. You can buy it online. And then at the Christmas market every year, she has a stall. And nice girl, really nice to talk to. And I bought a few bits and pieces to give as presents and stuff. She does t-shirts. So yeah, the one outside White's Tavern. It's a girl called.
I've got it. There you go. I managed to convert it as we spoke. Fabulous. People were commenting about these because that encapsulates everything to do with Ireland and whiskey and all in one go.
Yeah, and there's she put a bottle of Powers down at Cork. That's what she used to symbolise Cork, and the Samson and Goliath up in Belfast and stuff. So yeah, Danny Simpson. If you look for it, she has a fair amount of pieces all around Belfast, and she has Danny Simpson Art, I think it is .com, and she has a shop. So yeah, no, I thought you were going to bring up some of the stuff over in the Cathedral Quarter, Valley Jack pays for.
Can't find it. can't find it.
On the tour, I always highlight Willie and what Willie has done for the Cathedral Quarter.
And we've got a whiskey museum coming, haven't we?
Yes, we have a whiskey museum coming. He's bought the solicitor's office is next door to the Friend at Hand and kicked out the lawyers, at which I just symbolically kicking out lawyers to put a whiskey museum in. Just for me, is almost poetic. It's like a sort of dream come true. Kick lawyers out. So yeah. So good.
And we've got to say hi to the Admiral. He's watching tonight from Maryland, USA. Good evening to you.
Don't worry. The Tobacco Barn Distillery even gets a mention on the tour every so often. Whenever people ask, I always give you a mention, sir. And you get a mention.
And you met another sir. You met Sir Morris.
Sir Morris O'Connell. I met Sir Morris.
Liberator. Yeah.
It was a very strange event. It was in the Merchant Hotel, and it was Sir Morris O'Connell at the down at the Lakeview and his single estate stuff, and he was pitching his, I think it's 38-month-old whiskey against two Scotch whiskies that were brought over by the Scotch Malt Whisky Association. A 28-year-old Islay cask and a 31-year-old Speyside cask. And I can tell you now, at no point was he outgunned. His stuff, I was trying to tell him this the other day, it's got a real earthy flavour to it. And there's a note that brandies get. And they only get it in stuff that's aged really well. And it's called rancio. It's like a very earthy. It's supposed to be like rancid butter, which sounds bad, but trust me, it's it's a note that once you get it, it's
Is this better than Umami? Is it? Yeah.
it's umami. No, it's that it's a real sort of earthy note that it's very difficult to get.
What about that unusual sherry you give me? That was a weird flavor of it.
Oh, that was the
What would you describe that sherry flavor as?
that kind of had it was heading towards that 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 it's like a really earthy note that
Right.
appears in, and it's very hard to get. And the Liberators stuff, the Wayward Irish Spirits. He has about 4 different names for this. Of his products, his whiskey's going to be top drawer. It really is. It's superb, and it was nice to actually get to meet some of these people. And John from the Scotch the Malt Whisky Society, lovely guy, just a really funny, witty, full of good stories, telling just a raconteur, And
You had a couple of people on tour on Wednesday night that remembers of that, and they seem to know their stuff.
oh yeah, I met people this week who, I mean, knew their stuff, and it's great they did. And I met people who knew absolutely nothing about whiskey, and they even said a couple of them said don't really like it. But by the end of it, I kind of had them. Hopefully, I had them where they looked at it in a
Not
slightly
always.
different way.
Not all whiskey's the same. Even I've found one or two I like.
Well, it's good that you co-present a whiskey show and you found a whiskey that you actually like. It doesn't stop you drinking it when you're getting it for free, I noticed. Oh, by the way, someone mentioned a comment earlier on. They said Bushmills cask strength. Lots of the Causeway collections cask strength. I have in case I keep trying to explain to people, I magically have whiskey all over the place.
Did I miss a comment somewhere?
Yeah, there was something else. I think
I never seen that.
this 40.
Oh yes,
43%.
Christopher Colbert. He was a new. I've never heard that name before. Does Bushmills have a cask strength? Yeah.
Well, listen, if you can get your hands on this, 43% Black Bush, Sophiste cask. Oh Christ, wonderful stuff. If you just bring out 46%, bring out a 46% Black Bush for the Irish market. Bring it out for us because it'll be just amazing. And I'm reviewing this. This is one that we're reviewing, a 28-year-old single grain Canvas, which I got from Cadenheads. So yeah, do you remember I said about not buying whiskey? That's like that episode of Star Trek with the tribbles, where the things just keep multiplying. I'm going to have to up my drinking. I'm going to have to make a bit more of a concerted effort, Justin, to try and replenish to get this stuff down.
Great stuff. Great show tonight, as always. If you want to support us, remember, buy me a coffee /Irish Whiskey. Feel free to hit us up, subscribe. Where will you be next week? Will you be in Bonnie, Scotland next week?
Probably be in Edinburgh. I'm just going to have another Scots Irish, our sponsors of the show tonight. I'm going to have it in the Belfast Whisky Week. A little glass. Don't worry, William. I have a glass for you. Glass with Belfast Whisky Week name on it, because I know I think you forgot to take one. It's like Tommy Cooper.
Just don't worry. I forgot to take the VIP sample box there the other night, Marty, as well. So don't worry.
This is just the stuff I have sitting down here, and I've stuff over here. I can't. Klein Leash.
I admit it. You're like in the broom cupboard, and there's somebody handing the bottles up to you, because your house is actually a set. It's not a real house, And mine's a set too. Look at that. I can make it wobble. Look at that there. I can make the whole place wobble by touching it.
I haven't even opened this. I haven't even opened this gorgeous thing.
Of course, that looks pretty spectacular.
15-year-old Mortlock. Oh my God. Can't wait to get my hands on that. Anyway, so that's just the stuff I have sitting that I've no room for. That's for Christ.
Here, Jordy Burke says it's an awesome show. Mark Kerr says it's like Tommy Cooper and the bottles, and the bottles are inside each other, but then they aren't at the end of the thing. Starts with 2 empty tables, and they ended up covered in bottles. Yes,
I know.
William McLennan, thanks for hitting us up. And don't stamp your feet like Paul last night. There you go.
Paul had a very stressful week. Leave him alone.
I wonder why there's pictures of Paul's feet in it, but I didn't show them. Didn't show it. I thought it was a mistake, the picture of the floor. Right. Good night, everybody.
Right. Good night. Stay safe.
Catch up
everybody.
on
Take care.
Facebook, on YouTube, and LinkedIn, and Twitch, and Telegram. You can watch the repeats there on YouTube. James, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for being a good sport, everybody. Good night. Night-night. Thanks to the sponsor.